In this episode, we look at East Indian and Chinese culture. Hi boys and girls, at the end of this week's lesson, you will be able to define the concept culture, describe and compare the traditions of East Indians and Chinese, explain the economic value of culture and the creative industries, describe strategies to promote and preserve Caribbean culture, and complete at least 4 of the activities at the 8 learning centers. Every ethnic group has its own culture, that is, the way of life of a people. Jamaica has different ethnic groups, which result in an amalgamation of cultures. That is, the merging of different cultures into one unique culture, a Jamaican culture. Evidence of these include music, dance, food, storytelling, language, clothing, architecture, and festivals. Figure 1 shows some ways in which the East Indians and Chinese influence the Jamaican culture. Which group represents the East Indian culture? Let's look. We have food, roti and dal. On the other hand, we have chop suey. We have religion, Hinduism, Buddhism, festival, Diwali, and New Year. So which represents the Indian culture? And the roti and dal would give it away. Jamaicans have benefited tremendously through the cultural and creative industry. In fact, the local and global exposure of these talents have changed their status. Evidence of these are expressed through music, performing arts, festival, animation, festival, carnival, film, and television. As a result of these exposures, the economy of Jamaica is boosted in the following ways: job creation, reduction of poverty, increased economic growth, increased tourist arrival, and more foreign exchange is available to the country. So when they're having something like Sumfest, many hotels are booked out. So that gives employment to the people who work into the hotels, right? In the hotels, rather. People who have to go into them to clean and to be, entertainers and all of that. They get jobs. Then we have like Juta, those persons who drive the tourists around, they get some money from that as well. People who are in the craft markets and they tourists come and they buy hats and shirts and have their hair braided and all of those things, they make some money as well. So when you have the show, the organizers make money. The people, the Jamaicans who put on the show, they make money, right? The vendors who work outside of a show, or if they are so allowed to go inside, they will also make some money. So there's a knock-on effect. So even though you have one particular event, there are several people. So there are linkages that are there, and it helps many people to benefit from that particular festival in an economic way. Let's look at this section now. In order to retain and sustain aspects of the East Indian and Chinese cultures, the Ministry of Culture encourages Jamaicans to use strategies as shown at Figure 2. Figure 2, talk about it, play the music, cook the food, attend major events highlighting culture, and give gifts and souvenirs highlighting the music. So, talking about the East Indian culture, play the music, cook the food, the roti and the dal and all of those things, attend major events highlighting the culture, and give gifts and souvenirs highlighting the music. Engage. Discuss your school's participation in the JCDC Festival competition. What cultural practices do they portray when they participate? So we have the quadrille and the dinky mini and other dances as well. Didn't see a lot of the other groups being represented, the Indians and the Chinese, but the Africans are celebrated and their particular contributions are highlighted at the JCDC for our school. And our school has done fairly well. We sometimes get more than 20 medals in a given year from this competition. Explore. Access the internet and view videos on cultural practices in Jamaica. Explain. Create a blog highlighting aspects of East Indian and Chinese culture that are being promoted in Jamaica. Extend. 2 ways in which Jamaicans preserve culture is by maintaining museums and commemorating Heritage Month activities in schools. State 2 other ways in which Jamaicans preserve culture. So we have the activities in schools and museums, but we also have festivals like the Boston Jerk Festival. We have, Reggae Sumfest. That's a festival. Calabash Festival, where you have poetry being done. So those are other things that are being done to highlight and maintain and preserve aspects of our culture. Evaluate. Complete at least 4 of the activities at the 8 learning centers. Word link at the Faye Ellington Center. Create bookmarks and include an image of East Indian or Chinese culture and a description of the image. Self-link the Dr. Agri Irons Center. Make a journal entry expressing your views on the ways in which Jamaicans sustain culture. So how you prevent the culture from dying out? So you know it now and you want the next generation to know about it. What would you do? Music link. Write song lyrics on East Indian and Chinese culture. Picture link. Download images of East Indians and Chinese culture and create a carousel of these images. Body link. View videos on how to make roti. Get an adult to assist you in making rotis. Number link. From the Albert Einstein Center. The schools, let me go with that one again. The students of Prattville Primary participated in the celebration of Culture Day. It was well supported by community members. Mrs. Singh, a resident of the community, demonstrated how to make rotis. She displayed the recipe for making rotis. If Mrs. Singh were to double the recipe, what amount of flour, salt, and oil would be on the recipe? All right. So think about that one. Think and tell. All right. Social link. Mary Sequel Center. Use a digital device to capture images of the rotis made. Share these images in your WhatsApp group. Finally, the Diane Macaulay Center. Display samples of East Indian and Chinese fruits, spices, and herbs. That's interesting. You can look those up. Turmeric. That's something. Curry. That's something. Soy sauce. Right? Those are things that the Chinese use. Sweet and sour. Seasonings. We can get all of those and create our images and display them. Okay, guys. So in this episode, we looked at East Indian and Chinese culture. Take care, and we'll see you in the next episode.